Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm looking at Dungeon Rummy. I'm playing a prototype version of this one coming to crowdfunding. And no disclaimer for our crowdfunding coverage, we just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So we've seen a lot of cooperative trick-taking games recently that I've enjoyed, but Dungeon Rummy is the first one that I've played that is a cooperative melding game like Gin Rummy and other games like that, where you are building sets and runs to attack enemies. And in the game, you always have 4 characters, but each one that's not being controlled by a player has their deck face up, and basically you'll be able to use boots to pull cards from the top of their deck and build onto the melds into the groups of cards for each player. And each player can be working on one set of cards at a time, so you each have kind of like your own little area, or I should say each character, not even each player. So you could have 4 groups of cards you're building up at a time. And actually all the ones I put here are illegal, because how it works is you're either doing sets or runs. Sets are 3 or more of a kind, although you don't have to start with 3. But you cannot repeat a color at all. So each of the characters has their own color, kind of like suits. So we got red, blue, green, and yellow, kind of like clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. And so, like, I could have the red queen here and the green queen there to be a pair, but I couldn't add another red queen or another green queen. You can also have runs, which, as you might imagine, are cards in a row. There, the limitation is the same color cannot be next to itself. So I couldn't have a 2 next to a 3 if they're both red. But if I had a red 2, a green 3, and then a red 4, that would be fine. You just can't have the exact same color in a row. 2s, by the way, are wild, so you can treat them as any value, but their color must remain the same. So you still have to follow the same rule that you can't have more than 1 of a color in a set, or have 2 of the same color next to each other in a run. So on your turn, you can play as many cards as you want. If you're playing with fewer than 4 players, you can also flip over boots to play cards from the top of the companion decks, these non-player decks. And once you have a set or run that includes at least 3 cards, you can trash them. They all go to what's called the dead zone. They're out of play entirely. They will never come back. And for each card that was in that set or run, you deal 1 damage to the current boss. You're going through 3 basic minion cards, and they have, you can see like a little green heart here, they have easy, medium, and hard difficulties of minions, so you can kind of change the difficulty of the initial part of the game, and then you have to fight a boss at the end to win. So you gotta get through 4 fights total. But yeah, when you trash one of your sets or runs, you do as much damage as the number of cards in the group to the creature. So here, this little flower power orc has 9 life. Although if you have 7 cards or more in a run, which is called a canasta, then you get plus 3 damage. So that's going to finish off somebody like the orc in one shot. But additionally, many of the cards will have these little mana crystals under their value. Like here, the ace and the 3 are 3 mana crystals total. Let's pretend this was a set or a run. So not only when you fire it off do you do 1 damage for each card, but you additionally count the mana crystals, and you look at whichever character's play area it was in, because there are different reasons to put them in different play areas, and it'll have a little conversion value to get these little bonus tokens here. So Oki, the green player, for every single mana crystal in the game they shot off, like here 3, they would get a little healing token. This can be used at any time to heal players. I'll get to attacks and damage in a second. Bob, for every 2 mana, gets you a draw token that lets somebody draw another card into their hand to get more options. Milton, I guess he's dancing bard guy, for every 3 mana, he gets you a wild token that, kind of like the 2s, can treat any card as a different value. And finally, Lily, you'll see that she's a crazy barbarian fairy. She has 30 life compared to the 15 of the other ones, and she gets these shield tokens that can be used either to cancel 1 damage being dealt to her, or take on 2 damage being dealt to somebody else. Because you will be taking damage from the monsters at the beginning of each character's turn, and yes, that means even companions, not just full players. You will suffer the attack of the enemy, like the orc here is doing 1 damage to everybody, although often it'll just be damage assessed to the current player. And if any one character takes too much damage and is defeated, you all lose. But when you defeat the monster, you'll generally get 1 or more of these loot tokens, which can be used. And again, as you're firing off your game, you'll get mana, which will give you tokens that can be used at any time. And now looking at these boots again, I said you can spend 1 boot to play cards from top of companion decks. You can also use boots to move cards to a different area as long as you still follow all the rules of playing cards. So like, let's say that I had this ace over here, and then like later on I get a green 2 over here, and then a red 3, and I want to move the ace there. I could spend a boot to do that. You can even spend 2 boots to swap cards as long as they both follow all the rules of play. So those are all the main rules of the game. Let's just jump in and give it a try. We are playing solo. I personally think the game's a little bit better with more players to kind of talk. You are limited in that you cannot say the exact cards in your hand, but you can ask other people to play cards. So be like, hey, I could really use a 4 over here. So you can definitely give a lot of communication details, even though you can't say the exact cards you're holding. All right, so the orc at the start of my turn hits everybody for 1 damage. Just lovely. And then after the enemy's attack, I get to draw a card. I can either draw from the top of my deck or what's called the graveyard at the end of each turn. And there's a lot like many rummy games that I've played over the years with my family. At the end of each of your turns, you have to discard a card, and that'll become something that other people can draw. So I'm going to go and draw a card. I got a 7. Remember, I can't double up colors for things, even though I've got like ace 2, 3 in a row. Ace can be high or low, by the way. The best things I'm seeing here is queen and jack go together, or a pair of queens would go together. And then 8 and 7 red. So let's start out with this 8 yellow. We'll play it to my area, try to get some shields going. And then I guess I might as well play my 7, right? But then again, I can't play my 6 because you can't have 2 of the same color in a row. Okay, and I've got a 3, so I could do a pair of 3s. Maybe I should do like the queen jack or just the jack. The jack has no magic. For a card to be useful in his area for his ability, I want to get a lot of mana. So maybe let's put the jack in Oki's area. And when we get a blue 6, that'll go with my 7. Perfect. So what the hey, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to run out of boots. Oh my gosh, and there's a 9. I still don't have anything that could connect to any of these. Should I do the 9 or the queen? Well, let's do the 9. Blue's just doing so great for us. All right, so there we go. Oh, and I got another blue jack. That's not helpful. And yeah, I still can't play onto the 9 or the 6 there. I can't play onto the jack. Well, I could play onto the jack here with my queen, but I'd kind of rather dig into green's deck. So yeah, let's go ahead and use one of my last boots. Oh, and we got a wild 2. And I've got some wilds as well, I should note. So I'd love to be able to do 9 damage right off the bat here, which would require like 4 in a row here and 5 in a row there. That would do it. That seems maybe possible. Because if I don't kill the guy, we still resolve his attack for each of the companion turns. So that'll be 1 damage to everybody on Bob's turn, 1 damage to everybody on Oki's turn, 1 damage to everybody on Milton's turn, and then 1 damage again onto everybody on Lily's turn. So we'll have 5 damage out of 15, 30. It's not great if you let the enemies get more chances to hit you. See, I've got 2 2s, and they've got a 2. I think that should basically take care of business, right? And let's see, is there a way for me to get this to be a canasta 7 cards? If I use like a 2 to go be a 10. Yeah, I think I can do this. If I say this 2 is a 10, sorry, just kind of moving the cards around here. And then if I use a boot to move the jack under the 10. So that's it for boots. I can't mess around with the companion cards anymore. But then now my queen can go in because the jack broke up the reds in a row. And then that's already 7 cards. Beautiful. I don't have to use my other wild. So we can, at any time on our turn, fire off cards. So here we go. We are doing a 6 through queen run, 7 cards. So we have 7 damage for 7 cards, but when it's a canasta, at least 7 in a row, you get +3, so that's 10. So Orky Boy is dead here, and we'll get a loot token in a second. And then additionally, whenever you do a canasta, you get 3 more mana crystals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which is great because each of these little special tokens only has a max of 7. Just to remind you, for Lily's tokens, I can block a damage I'm receiving or take on 2 damage somebody else is receiving, since they only have 15 life max and I have 30. And from the orc guy, I got nice. So this is a loot token. We can use this on anybody's turn, although I'm the only one who gets turns, to distribute up to 4 healing among all the characters. And every card that was used for that attack, all 7 of them, again, go to the dead zone, not the graveyard where discards go, because a lot of enemies actually like attack harder with the more cards in the graveyard, the discards, so you don't want to put cards there, but these are just out of the game. All right, we get to see what our next friend is. Okay, so this guy has 12 life. He's an orange enemy. I'm doing easy, then medium, then hard, and then the boss. This 4+ means that he can only be hit by things that have at least 4 cards in them. Usually you can attack with 3s. Now you can still discard and trash sets of 3 or runs of 3 for the mana, but you won't get any other bonus from them. And he's hitting for 3 each time, which means we'll get our butts kicked in a second if he gets a chance to go all the way around, which, I mean, I'm sure he will. I'm not going to be able to hit him that many times. So can I do anything? I have 0 boots left, so there's not much point in playing cards. Now, an important thing, you do have to discard a card at the end of your turn, as I mentioned. But if you can get your whole hand gone, so let's say I put out enough cards that I only have this card left, after I discard it, if I have nothing in my hand at the end of my turn, I get 7 cards. And even cooler, if you can use every card in your hand so you have nothing to discard, you skip the discard step and you still get 7 more cards. So that's a nice way to inject a lot of extra card action into the game. But yeah, right now I'm not going to run out of cards. I don't have any boots left, so I think I'm just going to stop and do my discard. I've got 2 3s. One of them has a crystal, one of them doesn't, so let's get rid of that one. And now, as I said, we do a little set of attacks. So it's going to be 3 3 3 3. Should I use some Lily Power? I think I should. So let's use 1 shield on each of their turns, so they get 1 damage each. And I get 6 plus my own 3 attacks, so that's 10. Swap out the token. So that costs me 3 of my shields in case I have a chance to get some more. So I still got 20 life, though, and they've each got 13 life, so I'm still in a pretty good spot. All right, I'm going to draw another card. I don't think I want to draw the 3. That's not really doing much for us. Or I can get a 4, although that at least goes with the 2 3 here. Oh, and I get my boots back. That's the important thing. And yeah, I don't really want to try to do sets against this guy. Sets I find are tough to build anyway, but if he can only be hit by 4, 3 of a kind would not be enough, and getting 1 card or a wild from every color is pretty tough, because again, you can't repeat colors in sets. So let's go for a run. If I do my own ace, they're 2, they're 3, my own 4, that's a pretty good start already. But where do I want to put this? The ace has 2, theirs have none. Maybe I'll do it on Bob, who gets card draw. So that'll be mine. And then 1 boot, although that is a wild. Should I? That's okay. And then we'll do the 3 over here. Okay. So we got a 5, a 9, and a 7. Oh, I can do the 4, and then use a boot to do the 5. Very good. Oh, there's another 5. That's a better 5, but I can do my own 6. Do a boot to get the 7. Are we going to do another canasta? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We already got to 1. But 10 damage is not enough to kill this guy. Ooh, I can get 7 new cards. Yeah. I was going to say, if I do a 2 as a wild, right? Sorry, I'm running out of room here. So yeah, if I do a 2 as a wild, that will be in the place of the 8. And that gets us to 8 cards, which is 11 damage with the +3. And then I can use my second to last boot to do the green 9. And there we go. Let's fire this bad boy off. So we're doing 12 damage, killing that guy in 1 go. We've got 2. Is that it for crystals? Wow. 2 crystals plus the 3 bonus for the canasta. These are all dead. So that gives us 5 crystals total divided by 2. So we're getting 2 of these card draw tokens, so I can spend those on my turn to draw cards. I don't want to draw cards at the moment because I want to get 7 all new cards. We get another treasure. This one just lets any player draw a card. Okay, so we got a ton of card draw. Let's wait until after I draw 7 to use any of that. And this guy's gone, so we have 1 more basic enemy. This is a red one, a hard one. So this one attacks for 3 again. This ability means that when they die, they get rid of the game, the group of cards that has the most cards in it besides the one that just hit them. So they kind of mess you up before the boss. And then, oh man, this means we need to have a 4 of a kind to kill them. So it's not about damage here. It's about a specific combination of cards. And we just get rid of all our wild. That's not great, is it? Let's see. So what do? I want to use my last boot. I guess I could play my 3, or I could just discard it, and then I would get 7 all new cards either way. Well, we know the 6 is going to be good in multiple ways, so let's go ahead and do the 6, and maybe we'll do it in front of the guy who gives us wild tokens. Oh, and there's another 3. Interesting. If we can get, now I'm sad that I used all my wilds because I need 4 of a kind. If we can get some more 3s, that might be good. So with that being the case, do I want to discard this 3 or play it? I don't want to fill up my board with too much stuff, but okay, we'll play it. So I go to the end of my turn. I cannot discard, which means I just get 7 new cards. And now this guy's going to beat on us a little bit. I guess I should use, let's use 3 more shields to take their hits for them, which combined with my own hit means I'm at 19. So they have 12 left each, and I have 11 left. And hey, let's use my last token to block one of those 3 damage that I took. So there we go. Now our entire team is 100% equal, which, tends to be a good place to be. All right, and I get to draw a card. A 9. So yeah, I got a lot of very high values. They don't have anything that goes with anything. I mean, we got the 3 and the 3. I could play into that. And besides that, I might just have to use some of these boots just to kind of put cards out. Well, let's get this 3 here. Okay, there's another jack. And don't I have a jack? So that would be 3 of a kind. But then very specifically, we would need to dig into yellow to find a yellow jack or a yellow 2. Man, it's really tough to get 4 of a kind when you're playing with the companions because, a regular player would have a bunch of cards in their hand and hopefully one of them might have an actual wild or something. All right, so let's maybe play this jack. And then move this jack over here. And then I got to dig into yellow. So let's move this 5 over. Okay, that's a queen. So if I move this jack over, now my queen's by itself, which means I can move this queen here. Crud, what do I do with a 4 yellow? Well, here, I can put my own queen down here. And then, you remember, you can fire off things even if they want to actually hurt the boss. So I'm going to go ahead and trash this for nothing except, I do get a single mana, which for Oki gives us a single healing token, kind of like this big 4 healing token I have down here. And that at least gets us spots to play more cards, which I guess is going to be this blue 4, because I just got to find yellow jack. Oh, a yellow 3. So now I could, if I get that there in a second, I could kill the Flowey. This is like Flowey from Undertale, I just realized. I could kill the double flower guy with 4 3s. Or 4 jacks. So I could be digging for a blue 2 or 3 or a yellow jack or 2. Or, I just realized this is way better. What if I just freaking get 2 more gems on Milton? I should have paid attention to which cards I was putting. This is dumb play on my part. Because, yeah, if I can just fire off any combination of things that has 3 gems, that's a wild, and he's good to go. And I have friggin' nothing. You know what? Let's not end the turn yet. I'm going to use this draw 2 card token here. Let's see if, there we go. There we go. Okay. And that's a gem. So if I do that, then I can move the yellow. I ran out. Okay. So next turn, I can move the yellow 3 over there. That'll get us 3 of a kind. And then I can treat any yellow card with Milton's wild card power as a jack. Okay. So we are going to have to take a whole nother set of attacks. What am I ditching? I got 2 reds, one of them without a gem. So let's do that. See, a whole nother set of attacks from this jerk. We are pretty... Gosh, that's a lot of damage. Let's flip this. There we go. We all have 9 life left. All right, and I get to draw something. Let's draw from my deck, I guess. Okay, and let's enact my plan. So I'm going to use my first boot. What was it? To move... they're yellow 3 here. And I'm going to fire this off for nothing, just because it gets us 3 mana crystals, which gets us 1 wild. And now, hey, no time like the present. Let's go ahead and move this 9 wild over as though it's, 9 over as though it's a jack by using the wild token. You just cover it up like that. That would also override any mana crystals it had. So even if it was like the 7, it would give us no mana. And now, boss, get the heck out of here. So they are dead. We get no mana crystals from that, but we do get our 1 loot chest. All right, where are you at? Oh, another 4. Okay, this is cool. Between this, we got 9 healing, which, depending on the boss, might give us some nice time. Oh, that's right. He trashes the biggest group, which is these 2 3s, go to the, I think, to the dead zone. So we really are at square one, going to the boss. Which one is it? Okay, so a lot of bosses will have multiple stages. This guy, oh, crud. I'm glad the graveyard's not too big, but this guy's attacking 2 plus graveyard cards of each of us, so 4 damage right now. First phase, we got to do 10 damage. Second phase, where is it? Let me find this. You can see he has a little dragon friend in here. He swaps with this dragon minion. The dragon minion is also attacking bigger based on how big the graveyard is. And he has this ability, which means that you can no longer draw from the graveyard when you draw on your turn. And to defeat the dragon, you need to have a canasta. And then to defeat the blob, you need to have a royal canasta. What's a royal canasta, you ask? That's 7 or more cards in a row where you don't use any wilds. Not a 2 out of place, a 2 in a 2 spot. Like 2, 3, 4 is fine. And none of the wild tokens from Milton. So, yeah, I've found this boss to be the hardest. He killed me and my son last time we played. Let's see how we do. All right, so you know what? I don't think I'm going to draw again. I might as well use both of the wizard's tokens to draw more cards, just kind of increase my options as much as possible. Although not very much. Man, I'm really in the high area and nowhere else here. So we've got a random 4 out. I forget why that's even there. I could do queen, king, jack, but then I couldn't do much else there. We could do 8, 7, 6 is also kind of reasonable. Well, let's do all of that, right? So let's see. King and jack is 2. Let's try to get a wild to set up the canasta later, the middle canasta for the dragon. So I'll do a boot to do that there. I'll put my king out here, and I'll put my jack right there. So that's already 3 gems to get us a wild, and I could do 3 damage with it. And then, I got 7. Ooh, I have a 7. So I could just do 3 damage with 3 of a kind if I wanted to. Although I do also have a 6 and an 8, so I could, get a run going. Okay, well, let's do a 7 here, see what else comes out. Oh, there's a blue king. It's not going to help us much since my king's already over there. Could do a pair of kings, meh. And what else do I want to do? I'm kind of liking the idea of the 3 of a kind 7s more, because I'm already, making a run here. So, if I did, 8, 7, 6... who knows if I get a 5 or a 4 going down there, and I already got a run going up there for higher numbers. So yeah, let's do a boot for this 7. Oh, there's a king, so we could do 3 of a kind for kings. And then I'll play my own 7. We could actually do 3 of a kind for kings and still keep my king there because we got so many kings here. But yeah, for now I've only got a single boot. I mean, I guess I could see what's going to happen. Let's pull from blue. There's another friggin' king. That doesn't make me happy at all. I don't think I need to fire off yet. We are going to get slammed by this guy, though. That is 5 damage coming at each of us, which means we're dead the next guy that attacks. Yeah, this boss is just so friggin' hard. And now I can draw from here, which means I probably should. You know what? Let me get the 3 back. I don't know. Just to keep his attack value down, even if it's not really going to help us at all. Because really what I'm looking for right now is to use more of these boots. So let's get the yellow king here. Yellow jack. Yellow jack, what are you doing for me? Well, if I can add 1 more card to any of these things, I'll have enough to beat the first form of the boss and make the dragon come out and kill us. Okay, let's go ahead and spend both of these to heal 8. We'll just do 2 from each person. All right, and then, okay, what if we get the wild token and do 3 damage to the guy? Wild for 3 mana. Okay, and then we can use a boot and a wild to say this. Oh, wait a second. The 6 is actually a thing. I wonder if I should have seen that before. Yeah, I mean, I was planning to put it here. So let's just say I did. I feel like I'd be cheating otherwise. Now, we could get a 4 of a kind king. That's interesting. Although we only need to do 7 more damage. That won't help us anymore. So yeah, let's just fire off of stuff. So that's 4 more damage. That was 2 mana for tanking and blocking. I don't think that'll be enough to keep anybody alive. And then this will finish off the first stage of the boss, but only 1 mana is not enough for Bob to get anything. So normally for bosses, you'll put a little check mark to show you defeated 1 phase of them. But for this guy, he's getting totally replaced by the dragon for a moment. He's going to do 3 damage to each of us. Oh no, 4 because I would have discarded a card at that point. We need to get a canasta. Good lord. I mean, I guess a high value run is what's going to do us here, right? So let's start working on that. And I'd rather have the healing guy be the one giving it to us, but that's not going to happen right now. So I guess I'm the next best thing. So I'll put an ace there, a boot, which king? I don't know. A king here. And that's it. We got no queens. Dang it. Wait, I can just use a boot to put this king in some random place. There we go. And hey, there's a 4 to go with the other 4. Yay! And there's another 4. You're not helping me out here, guys. Oh, I don't freaking know. Let's maybe try to build up to get a wild token again. So we'll put a 10 there. We'll put the jack with it. Maybe if a queen shows up, we can just move him over. And then we got a whole lot of nothing else we can do. This 3 seems kind of out of place, so I'll discard that. And then we're taking 4 damage all around. We aren't dead yet, but really close. Everyone's within 2. Awesome. And I can't draw from the discard pile, so I'll get one of these, a 5. All right, and shoot, what do? I literally can't fire off cards, combos that don't have at least 3 in a row. So this might be it. I feel like I'm stuck. Because I can't play the 9 anywhere. I can't play the 8 anywhere. I can't play the 5 anywhere. I can't play the 6. Can't play the 7. Can't play the 4. Okay, if I moved the king to that king, that would just become an ace. I don't have any 2s to combo into or 3s. I don't have any aces to connect it with. Yes, maybe I'm way off, but I think I am done. But hey, I got part way to killing the final boss, so some success at least. So that was Dungeon Rummy, the solo mode. Again, with more players, we'd be actually like communicating and on our turns playing things to each other. And you can only attack with your own pile when it's your turn if there aren't any companions in the game. So what do I think of this one? It is pretty cool. I will confess, I have not had a lot of success in solo. Maybe I'm just not very good at the game, but I do feel like it is more random than the multiplayer game because you are somewhat beholden to like what card combos come out for the other players. Whereas with real players, although you have like limited communication and stuff, they might have 7 or 6 or 5 cards in their hand to actually build combos together. So my favorite games of this have been at the higher player counts, 3 or 4. Although I'll be honest, playing with my son at 2 has also been pretty successful. We have only beaten the boss once, but we've at least gotten farther than I did in the solo play. So just a note about player counts. But the actual core play of the game is pretty cool. I like the whole idea of putting together combos, that you are forced to work together and cooperate because you literally can't build any combos with your own cards. And then trying to math out how to defeat the enemies and who you want to play cards to because you're trying to like unlock their powers and stuff. I think that's pretty neat. Now, at the same time, I don't love dealing with all the little damage tokens. I do find the game tends to go in a somewhat similar direction each time where I try to even out the damage onto Lily until like everyone has kind of about the same damage. So there is a bit of sameness in the game. And also, at least in the prototype they sent, there were 3 bosses and like I think 8 enemies. Let me count. Yeah, 3 bosses and 6 enemies unless I misplace one. Now, of course, this is a prototype, so they might have way more in the actual campaign. But yeah, I'm not sure like if this would hold my attention for the long run, but I've definitely had fun with the 6 or 7 plays that I've had of it. Again, maybe not the strongest recommendation for solo. Definitely, I would say best at 4 and pretty good at 3 and 2. But that is Dungeon Rummy. Check it out on crowdfunding. It should be up now or soon. And thanks for watching, everybody. And at the end of many of our videos, I'd like to thank our biggest Patreon supporters, the ones who do the most to keep the channel going. They are J. Willie MF, Steve Wren, and Pedro Lucas. Thank you all so much. And everybody else, good gaming, and we'll see you at the next stop.